look me back, it is really an awful-looking injury for Nick Gates. It's a lower leg injury.
Wow, did this guy get his leg blown out?
We're just not going to show it to you. So Gates, who had moved to left guard with this injury, and they're going to have to cart him off the field. You would think would take over back at left guard where he played 44 snaps last week in Denver. They just activated Matt Skura, but right now all thoughts are with Nick Gates. Serious leg injury, and we'll take another break.
There's a new team in the NFL. There's one that plays for home. Everyone's home. Whether you're a rookie or a seasoned pro, this team has your back. We can help you tackle any project.
We're the Lowe's home team, and anyone can be ours.
Are you in?
Try out for the Lowe's home team today.
You would never see that.
Pizza Hut's Detroit-style pizza is back. Same crispy crust, cheese all the way to the edge.
It's a brutal injury.
Okay, now I'm hungry. Detroit-style pizza. Create your own pick from basic pizza. No one Pizza Hut.
Welcome back, football fans. We'll see you in the fridge.
We did it again. Verizon has been named America's most reliable network by RootMetrics, and our customers rated us #1 for network quality in America, according to J.D. Power. #1 in reliability 16 times in a row. Most awarded for network quality 27 times in a row. Proving once again that nobody builds networks like Verizon. That's why we're building 5G right. That's why there's only one S network.
Tomorrow on NFL Total Access, your official Week 2 Viewers Guide. Every Sunday game, every Sunday score. Who to start and who to sit in fantasy. We go beyond what will happen. We tell you how and we tell you why. Tomorrow, 7 Eastern.
A couple of times now, Nick Gates has waved to the crowd. He's gotten a nice hand from the fans here in Landover. Just named the captain, and with all the turmoil up front to his offensive line, he started all 16 games last year at center. He moved over to guard, and every one of his teammates and all the coaches came over to pat him on the chest before the cart took off.
Yeah, there's a good look at it right there, and trying to come off of that. When you have a guy who has been injured as badly as he is always difficult. But good to see him smiling here, like you said. Moved to center last year, and then tonight got a chance to go back to his more natural position in guard. And now they're bringing in probably Ben Preston at left guard to take his place. Let's see the leads are going to Saquon gets loose, so that's got to feel good for number 26. A really nice job here by Billy Price, and then you got Rudolph who comes through and helps clean it up. You see the hole that he has right there in the middle. Needs shoulder.
That's a hold.
To the next level, you got Galladay at the wide receiver position, blocking the corner. That's excellent work up front. I tell you, this defensive front for Washington, they got hit pretty hard on Sunday, like we talked about, against the Chargers and the Giants. Have taken it to them here in the early going. 41 yards for Barkley, and he's 51 weeks removed from a torn ACL. He's just got to learn to trust it. Have to be sure to
Here is a toss to Ford, and CJ Ford gets it, tries the left side. But Bobby McCain made the stop, a gain of 6. Christina?
Well, yeah, guys, this very vaunted Washington defensive front just simply underperformed on Sunday. That didn't sit well with them. I talked to Chase Young coming into this game. He said, we were hungry, we're focused, we're motivated. This is a different looking group right now, but you're just not seeing it, still not able to generate much pressure, guys.
Now second down and 4.
Omaha! Look out!
Short of the first down is Devontae Booker. Who spent his first 4 years with the Broncos last year with the Raiders.
Well, you see Ron Rivera, he is not pleased at all with what he has seen from this defense. The Giants have already ran the football better than they could have anticipated coming into this ballgame. And Ron Rivera knows it. And if their defense can't sort things up, nothing else matters. I mean, this is the group, like you said, coming in, Joe. They're the reason that they were able to win the games that they won last year. They took them in these games, and they're depending on this group to be able to shut them down. And they have not yet done it.
Timeout taken by the Giants sideline. Prior to a 3rd and 2 play. Sunday on NFL Game Day morning, Jerry Jones is live in studio, and Darren Waller breaks down film with Hall of Famer Rod Woodson. NFL Game Day morning, Sunday at 9 Eastern, live on NFL Network.
That's pretty cool. That's one of the perks I saw this week, that they got moved into their new studio right there at SoFi Stadium, and you know, Jerry Jones and the Cowboys will be there taking on the Chargers. He'll just walk into the studio and a little light shot right before the game. Yeah. Pretty good.
They wanted to.
They wanted to rush it. You'll be on the ticket in the morning for that one.
Hey, guys. And 3rd down and 2.
They're going for a false start. Delay game also. The clock was at 0. You see there's some confusion going on. They're trying to get situated. And then Andrew Thomas goes early.
It was 5 yards either way, so 3rd and 7. Chase Young and Montez Sweat. Down and a loss of 6. The penalty in this sack, pushing the Giants likely out of realistic field goal range. We'll see. Matt Ioannidis was injured on this play. Well, they left Kyle Rudolph in to try to help, but on the edge. But everywhere else, they were one-on-one, and Washington able to win those matchups. And that's where Jones has to.
This is going to be a little taste test. My wife hates the camera, so she probably won't say anything or say hi, Kim.
Talking about a 56, 57-yard field goal.
Aunt Betty, this is homemade, what do you call it? Caesar salad dressing for tonight's dinner. So you say, she's hard at work here. Hang on.
Hey, Kevin, you want some lasagna?
Yes, that's appropriate for a dinner.
I made lasagna. Who's telling you? What? What?
Kevin, do you want some lasagna?
You stepped in what? What?
What?
What? I made lasagna. Tomorrow is my nap. What? It can be
easy to steal your identity. Now, it can be just as easy to help protect yourself. LifeLock helps detect identity threats. If there's a problem, we work to fix it. Go to lifelock.com. You're going on a journey. Nothing's more addictive than the bad.
I'm seeing murders as they're happening.
Not like me. Growing up with the family takes a toll.
This is your boy Dan Sileo. Listen, this is your boy Dan Sileo. Listen, we got go to Los Angeles to see the Super Bowl. We've been giving them from the National Football League, and we're going to give them away for all of those who subscribe to my YouTube.
Welcome back, football fans. We'll see you in the fridge. Introducing the number. Just the same for those sweet little everyday drinks. Good in heavy traffic. Perfect for catching up with the relatives. Dropping into the car wash en route. Giving someone a helping hand. Or beating a commute. And putting your feet up after a long day. Football is only on NFL Network. We're here for a primetime showdown in the Lone Star State. Touchdown Eagles, Texans, three-star team. Thursday night football, next Thursday at 8, only on NFL Network.
Well, between that false start and the sack, a loss of 11 yards, and it appears that has pushed the Giants out of to willing to try for a field goal. So a punt coming here from Riley Dixon. Yeah, that's the thing. Graham Gano was making them from 55 in this direction in pregame warm-up.
Hey, Steven, that's been really nice. Hey, man, he's become a loyal follower, man, and I'm thankful. Man, if I were Washington, I'd be calling Cam. Dude, I think you're right about your Padres. I think they'll be lucky if they finish above 500.
And all that adds up to just a really great catch. That was unbelievable. Yeah, it was great body control. What a player he is. He's finally now got some complimentary players around him, so teams can just totally focus on him. Here's a toss to Gibson. And they start to drive as he gets 6. First 2 possessions, the Washington football team has gone backwards. 6 plays, negative 3 yards. They're without a guy I know you like a lot, Curtis Samuel, who's on IR with a groin injury. When they get him back and you put him with the speed of De'Ami Brown,
Hello, my friend. Why? Oh, I see. Oh, it was great. Thank you. We had such a good time, man. Had a nice little deal last night, some wine, and it was good. Sausage and wine? I don't know about sausage and wine, but how is everything going? Yeah? You sure? No, I'm just asking you, man, because you are calm and I can never get a read. How's Fred doing? Uh-huh. Okay. Really? Ugh.
You just want what? What's an egg cream? An egg cream. No, I don't know what an egg cream is. No, I grew up in an Italian area. An egg cream. I've never had such a thing. I've had fizzy water before, and I've had my grandparents had a highball before, but something that we would never have anything like that in our home. Well, that doesn't mean that we would drink it. Well, it could be some Irish guys' drinks. I would never drink that. Oh. Oh, see, you know what? You are scoreboard, I see. Oh, you're one of them dudes. uh, 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 uh. So Steven says it's sort of like an eggnog. So Steven, you've heard of it? Huh. All right. I might have to try it now. I actually like eggnog. I really do. I like eggnog. Yeah, I do too. Oh yeah, no, I've had a couple hundred of them. Hey Chris, just between me and you, I hope everything continues to go well here because guess who's going to jump aboard the Dan Sileo show here on USA Radio Network? Atlantis Resorts. Yeah, that's coming. No. We're rolling good here, right? We're going good here. I'm talking about this company, dude. We're all good, right? Okay, good. Why are you being like that? I hate this guy, man. Give me my bayonet. Just shut up. Just forget it. I don't want. Good. About time. Drink your cranberry juice and have a seltzer. That's about right. I like that name actually. That's a great porn show. I can't. Good evening, America. How in the heck are you? Dan Sileo here, USA Radio Network. Are we good? Hope all are having a great night. Like to start my night out with that. Week 2 of the NFL starts tonight. You got Washington and New York going. 2 of the so-called Tiffany teams. NFC East. You know why that's such an important division in the NFL? All the TV cameras. All the population. It's the number 1 division in all of professional football. No matter what the records are. Doesn't really matter. All your gigantic cities are in that NFC East. That's why that division has to perform, has to be good. That's why it's on primetime television, especially in week number 2. So it's a great way to start off this week of the National Football League. Like I said, too, and as this is your happy hour of radio, because of all the miserable things that are going on in the world, the one thing that is not miserable is our sports world. Sports can never be miserable. It can be frustrating. Okay? It can be. your favorite team not playing well. It could be exhilarating, your favorite team winning a championship. Your expectations that you have, that's what makes all the good feelings that people have inside, because it takes them out of paying bills and the thought process of that, the daily life things. You sit back and watch sports. It's the coolest thing we have in this country. I do. And I think it's one of the reasons why it's the last reality television show that we have. Do you know that live programming has become so essential to the broadcasting companies in this country that it's truly the last thing that they invest their gigantic money in? Whether it's baseball, basketball, hockey. Get this. You want to hear something crazy? You know these new television deals that the NHL has struck with the new networks? Let me say this to you. They don't really give a rat's ass about the ratings, because you know why? They sell it. And it's live programming. It's reality television. Do you know that they got a bigger deal than the last deal they had with NBC? Do you know the NBA is going to have a number that's going to double the current television deal they have? And their numbers have struggled. The NFL puts numbers down on a cocktail napkin, gives them to the networks and says, you'll pay this. They're the only entity that can do this. But when you come out of a week where you had 27 million people last Thursday night watching the Buccaneers and Cowboys, and the massive ratings that were up like 7 to 10% this past weekend NFL-wise, and the college football numbers, oh my God, and you have Americans showing up to ball games again, dude, it's great. I mean, it's truly a great time of the year. Baseball, too, we're getting closer now to the playoffs and such. I just think this is really one of the greatest times. And we got hockey around the corner. We also have NBA around the corner. I mean, my God. And as I said, we got Thursday night football going on. I do want to start the show off by doing this. And you know what? I've never been really one of these guys to tell a guy to shut his hole and just go play. I've never been a guy like that. But I'm going to do it tonight. And I'm going to make a plea here for a guy that I think is really he's going to either tell us that he wants to play or he doesn't want to play. Hey, Aaron Rodgers, I'm so sick of you crying. Stop crying, guy. Every time I look up, there's some lame-ass comment about somebody a year ago. This is the second straight night I'm doing this. This is the second straight day that you're talking about something. Shut up. Just shut up, dude. Dude, if I was in that locker room with the Packers, I might go right up to that guy. Aaron, let's go play some football, man. Who cares what people are saying about you? Are you that really weak that you care what people in Madison, Wisconsin say about you? Or some guy in like Sarasota, Florida who tweets something at you? Are you really that sensitive? Dude, there's something wrong with you if you really feel that way. You're Aaron freaking Rodgers. You make $35 million a year. You're 26-7 in 2 years. You've been to 2 straight NFC championship games, and you're bitching. You know what that comes from to me? Really, you know what it is? It's that you're not vested in really coming back. You're not sure you really want to play still. That game against the Saints, to me, it looked like he kind of was in and he kind of was out. I think you either got to be all in or I think you got to be all out. I don't know. I just don't see. I mean, why are you crying like this? This dude needs a bib. Guy, straighten up, man. I mean, you're going to cost your team an opportunity to do something potentially great. Every team, it's funny. Everybody goes, hey, Sills, it's the Buccaneers. It's the Buccaneers Super Bowl trophy to lose, right? Man, that's not how it works. Every year's a different team. Well, they brought all their guys back. I don't care. It's a new year. The NFL doesn't work like that. Well, like in college football, you just give Alabama the #1 rating because Alabama's been good for the last 100 years. It's not what it's like in the NFL. The Bucs are favored, I would say, because of the talent that they've brought back. But that doesn't necessarily mean you're going to run through the tape. We see this all the time, man. So come on, Aaron, just shut up and stop crying. Got an opportunity to do something great. You're a first. I hate doing this. I'm sick and tired of the guy. You know what? I'm just going to stop talking about the guy. Either you're winning or losing. This other stuff, this sidebar stuff, whether you're personality, I mean, I don't know. I'm just tired of the guy. This guy, you know what he is? He's a guy that wears you out, isn't he? There's certain dudes that you can live with, have a fun time with, no matter when it is. By the way, you could be away from them for like 2 years. You could pick up a conversation. You know the guys I'm talking about. Guy like Aaron Rodgers, after a while, you want to get that. You want to get out of the room. You know what I mean? Let me get out of here. This guy's making me nuts. I know a bunch of people in radio like that. Just let me get out of here, man. This guy's making me nuts. And so that's what this guy does to you, man. I see why his parents don't like him. His brother hates him. And there's teammates that talk. Have you ever heard of a former Patriot talking trash on Tom Brady? In the 22 years he's played, can you name one guy that has said one negative thing about Tom Brady? I can't remember anybody ever saying anything negative about Tom Brady. I could line up a police lineup and I could put people 20 deep that have talked poorly about Aaron Rodgers. And I could put teammates 20 deep. That's never a good thing. When you have former teammates trashing you. I love the teammates that keep talking great. Everybody, man, to a T, loves Tom Brady. And by the way, Aaron Rodgers should feel comfortable that I'm throwing him in the conversation with Tom Brady because that's what I think of his ability. I think he's one of those guys. Just not on the winning end. All right. I'm going to throw something out at you here. And to me, I think this goes down the line of common sense. I hope you think it's common sense. But I also want to put this out there. So Deion Sanders, primetime, former Cowboy, is now the head football coach at Jacksonville State. And he's the head coach of a historically black college. And he has really made an impact on that school. And in my opinion, Deion Sanders has an opportunity to be a really good coach. He wants to be called coach. I don't think there's anything wrong with it. When people address Nick Saban, they call him Coach Saban. They don't call him Nick. They call him Coach Saban. Or when they talk to Dabo Swinney, Coach Swinney. You know what I mean? And so if he wants to be called that, more power to him. I don't think he's wrong, actually. You give those coaches the respect by calling them coach. Calling a guy Deion, you're still playing to the personality and not what he's trying to accomplish as a coach. And I happen to see his point. So there's a job opening in Southern California. What do you think the likelihood that USC would even entertain interviewing a guy like Deion Sanders for that job? What would be the drawbacks on that? Inexperience? That could be a factor. But then again, I look at Deion Sanders and the lifelong things that he's gone through. Isn't he the perfect coach? Here's one of the most celebrated athletes in the history of American sports, especially football. Also a dual sport guy, baseball. He's gone through the highs and lows, mostly highs. He's a Hall of Famer. He's a college football Hall of Famer. He played on a phenomenal program at Florida State. He excelled at the highest level at the NFL, and he knows everybody on the planet, and his visibility is enormous. You don't think he has a knowledge of the game? You don't think Deion is one of the smartest players to ever play? You would be dismissing because of other issues and ideologies that you may have about Deion. Don't take it for granted that Deion did everything on ability. Deion Sanders is one of the smartest players in the history of the league. He's got a great understanding of football. And most importantly, he's worked with high school kids at the IMG Academy in Florida. He's got nothing to prove. He's got millions of dollars. He wouldn't be taking the job for a cash grab. he would be taking the job to make an impact in players' lives. More importantly, in student athletes' lives. I ask you again, wouldn't Deion Sanders be a great hire? I got tremendous pushback by that. What would be your drawback? And don't give me an experience. Look at these NFL head coaches that have never been head coaches. Nick Sirianni, Brandon Staley. Some of these guys have never been a head coach. What's their qualifications? Because they went around like gypsies and they were assistant coaches for 1,000 years? How about the 20-some-odd years that Deion played in the NFL? 4 years in college. I think it's maybe 3 years in college because he was so gifted. I wouldn't just dismiss that. And what you might do with Southern Cal, you might get kids in Los Angeles that might want to stay in the area. Your school is starting to go down the same line as the University of Miami. You're not being able to keep your kids in the room. And you're not being able to keep your kids locally to go to the University of Miami. They're leaving and going to Alabama and Clemson. But why wouldn't you want Deion as that coach? You know, they're talking about James Franklin at Penn State. James Franklin makes $10 million a year. $10 million a year at Happy Valley. Why would he leave? Now, to me, you know what you use USC as? I use USC as this. Hey, give me more leverage so I can make more money at Penn State. I don't know. Why would I go to Southern Cal? Because I'm in LA? That's not that important to me. It's just not important to me anymore. All right, to Dallas Cowboys. I want to hit on this. I got some horrific news. By the way, this game versus the Chargers, is it a must-win? They get bounced in the first week by the Buccaneers. They got the Eagles on the other side. We'll hit on it next. Good. And it's Ted Robinson. Yep. He's the voice of the 49ers. We'll see. We'll see. That's for damn sure. Oh, okay. Wow. Power play, huh? Huh going on there, huh, Junior? Don't hey me. I got a name. My name ain't Hey. My name is Dan. Hey, don't call me Hey. Call me Hey. What do you want, Junior? Okay, so hey and look and boy, all three don't work. I'm not okay, right. Correct. Look, another one doesn't work. Dan, when you address me, first names. Hey, look, wrong. It's Dan Sileo, not hey, look. Listen, douchebag, it's not hey, Dan. It's Dan. No. Okay, great. Once again, well, I'm absolutely right and okay. I don't care about any of that. No, you don't. It's doubtful. Yeah. Okay, Butch. I have my producer's name is Bush. But and you know what his middle name is? Butcher. Yeah, his new name is Butcher. Like butchering a segment. I so highly doubt that your mind is clear. No. Thanks, Butcher. Hey, real in truth, I used to call like poor like guys who were terrible. I used to go, "Hey, Butcher, how many more minutes do we have left?" The guy would look over, "Who's Butcher?" I go, "Who do you think?" I would have said, "Hey, you know Mount St. Helens? That thing erupted. I got about 2 minutes for that." But I'm giving you a heads up. Yeah. Okay, Butcher. Yeah, Stan. It's the button on the right. Dan Sileo, USA Radio Network. Need a good old shot of whiskey. Oh, my God. Football season, man, right? Now, do you drink whiskey at football games? Or do you just drink beer? I don't think I've ever had a hard drink at a football game. Wait a minute, let me think. I don't think I've ever had a hard drink at a football game. I know dudes who just go. I know guys who like vodka tonics and stuff like that, like at the tailgating. I was talking to somebody today earlier. I do a stream show, and I was talking about tailgating. What would be your ultimate tailgate? Let's see. You'd have sausages on there, right? Got to have a great grill. Now, would you have a grill that was that old school grill, or would you use the wood pellets? Because the wood pellets give you the flavoring now. You know those Traegers? So would you have that? I love, by the way, those things are outstanding. Almost burned my house down with it. But I mean, they really are good. You don't have steaks at a tailgate, do you? You put sausage, hamburgers, hot dogs. You grill the buns. You don't put a potato on the grill. Can't do that at a tailgate, right? I don't think you drop. Do you have fries there? Or do you have handmade fries? Homemade fries? You got to have a condiment, right? Yeah. Man. Because this weekend, it's the home opener for the Eagles. And people were telling me the link's going to be just packed. And you know what? Fans haven't had an opportunity to tailgate. Tell me that is so not Americana, the tailgating at football games, and how important that is to have those tailgates. Man, did I miss that. Guys were telling me, Sills, man, there's these sections that people have, certain fans, they go in together, they tailgate, they meet each other each and every single Sunday or Saturday for college games. Tailgating is back, man. All this past weekend, I had people sending me stories. I love the tailgate stories because that's where fans really built up their passion when it comes to, like, you know, their favorite local teams, whether it's college or pro. I really do. I love tailgating. I think it's one of the coolest things that fans do. You know, not just, it's an all-day event too, right? You know, if the game is a 1 o'clock Eastern game, what do you get there? Like around 9:30, 9 o'clock? You just sit there all morning and you just like make food, you eat, then you walk into the game. Man, it's a great time. I know that these NFL teams, $100 parking now, but when you tailgate, man, you bring your own grub. It's great. NFL does a great job too, going around. They sell certain things in case you don't have it, condiments and stuff. It's great. Oh man, I just absolutely love that. I really do. I really do. Hey, folks, do me a favor. Make sure that if you're in the Phoenix area, this goes out to our great folks in Phoenix, the Valley Hooters. Get to your local Valley Hooters, and this weekend, Arizona State, Arizona football is going to be off the charts. By the way, all the teams are doing exceptionally well. This Cardinal team is great. The Hooters there in the Phoenix area and the Valley, they got great specials, great giveaways, fantasy football, all of it. And do me a favor, make sure you tell them Big Sil sent you there. I want to hit on something about our friend Jameis Winston, and I want to talk a little bit about Lamar Jackson. We'll do it next. You keep it here on the Dan Sileo Show. Now, this guy, Steven, is bringing up something very interesting about a talk show host. His name was Lee Hacksaw Hamilton. And Lee was one of the absolute godfathers of West Coast sports talk. And he was on 690. Then he went on to 1090. And Lee's numbers, I took over for Lee, and his numbers were atrocious. However, what they started to do there, and the guys that were there on the air, Darren Smith and Scott Kaplan, what they did was they turned him into a joke, and management allowed it. And Lee allowed it himself. He didn't stand up for himself. And that's what happened, Steven. He did. They did sabotage him. But Lee kind of let it happen. He didn't see it around him because his ego got in the way. He should have told him to shut the fuck up. Okay? That's what I would have did. But I have no respect for Lee because Lee and I just don't see. But I tell you what, his career was fantastic. He had a great career. And Scott did sabotage him. Yeah, it just sounds like management not sticking up for anybody, which is common and normal. I don't think so. That's okay. I didn't see. Oh, you had a long one? You might be ahead of me. You might be ahead of me then. Oh, okay. That's a hold there. No, see, Chris, I'm just in my own little thing, and I'm very grateful just to be in my own little thing. I don't pretend or strive to do any of that. I'm just glad that I can do what I do. So, I don't. Some people were destined for others, and some weren't. So, I mean, yeah, but I've seen talent how they treat management sometimes too. It's not cool. You're just like bitter this week. Is that what I do? Who's Tiny Tim? Oh, yeah, that's right. The weirdo with the ukulele. He's Tiny Tim with a ukulele. Hey, yeah, okay. We'll tiptoe through this guy. Oh, my God. Is there something wrong with you? Jesus Christ. Chill out. Wow. Hey, no, you sounded. I'm like, hey, I wouldn't. Puma, huh? Let me tell you about that, Junior. Yeah. Dan Sileo, USA Radio Network. Puma. Jesus. Do I look like a Puma guy? I look like an Adidas dude. Shell toe. That's more me, man. God, I loved it. My favorite shoe growing up, though, you're not going to believe this, but it was Puma. I loved that stripe on the shoe. Those were the shoes that I wore for my cleats when I was a kid in high school. Because you know what they would do? They would sell you these white shoes, and you could take a magic marker, a permanent magic marker, and you can paint on that white stripe the color of your high school. And so mine were Notre Dame colors, obviously, because I went to Catholic school, and those were our colors, were the Notre Dame colors. So I would put green on my Puma shoes. God, I love those shoes. They were low cuts, too, and they were spikes because we played on real grass, obviously, back in the day. With no AstroTurf fields in high school when I played. They were all grass. You know what, too? I remember those spot builts. I was telling Chris a couple nights ago, those spot built shoes, those have gone by the wayside. Those were really big shoes in the NFL, too, back in the day. They really were. All right. I want to get into some guys that we're going to see this weekend that are really making great statements in their careers. And I'm going to tell you first off, I'm going to start here with the Dallas Cowboys. And I teased in the last segment, but we'll get to it here now, that the Dallas Cowboys are going to go on the road to Los Angeles to play the Chargers. They got some bad news today. DeMarcus Lawrence is out 6 to 8 weeks with a broken foot. Horrible. Now they have to rely on a pothead and Randy Gregory. Okay? It's the guy that was whining in the offseason saying to everybody, hey, man, the Cowboys liked Aldon Smith better than me. Aldon Smith was a better player than you last year. You're the most unreliable guy in that Cowboy organization. You're the guy that they told at Nebraska, don't show up to the combines high. You did anyway. That's judgment issues, dude. I'm not even talking about weed. I'm talking about your judgment. You think that one moment, which was a critical moment in your life, it cost you being a first rounder. It turns you into a third rounder. Because why? Of judgment. Can he be a great Pro Bowler? Absolutely. But I question your judgment. The Cowboys, they get beat in the opener against the Bucs. Think of this for a minute. You throw up over 470 yards of total offense. Get 4 turnovers against the champs, and you still lose. Okay? Now you go into Los Angeles and play this Chargers team that's got a quarterback that, in my opinion, he is one of these guys that in 5 years is going to be one of the elite players at that position in the league, Justin Herbert. That's a good football team. Derwin James in the secondary. That's not going to have pitch and catch like he did against the Bucs here. You also have Joey Bosa rushing the passer. That's a pretty good football team. And I don't believe the Cowboys are going to win this game, which lends me to believe that they're going to start the season 0-2. That's panic time because guess who's on the other side of this Charger game? You got the Eagles. It isn't your place. It's at Jerry's World. But you got the Eagles who look awful good in week 1 versus the Falcons. Albeit, it is the Falcons. I understand that. But you got to win this ball game. And for the record, what was Dak last year before he got hurt? 1-4? The year before that, they were kind of suspect in wins too. Jeez, I mean, they really haven't won a lot of ball games in the last 10 games, have they? I'm going to have to look that record up. This is a big win. They have to get this. You can't go into Philly 0-2. You can't go into Philly 0-2. And now with the injury to DeMarcus Lawrence, Zach Martin in week 1, you miss him because of COVID. You got some question marks at the running back position. You only gave Zeke Elliott the ball 11 times. By the way, he came in shape. He looked good. My question to Kellen Moore, the offensive coordinator, because we all know this, Mike McCarthy, the head coach, is not calling plays in Dallas. Why are you paying that guy $15 million a year? Why are you paying him $15 million a year? Doesn't make sense. You need to feed that guy, man. If you want to win a lot of ball games, you need to make that guy more of an integral part of your offense. You need to help him. There's a reason you're paying that guy. Look, I'm not down on the Cowboys, but you can't start 0-2. And you know what else about Dallas? I am sick and tired of the Cowboys getting all the hype and giving us little in return. They've got the talent. It's time to step up. By the way, I want to throw out some love here to our affiliate in Dallas. Thank you for the tweets last night. KBDT 1160, thank you. That was really cool of you guys to throw out those tweets last night about the Dan Sileo show. I want to thank you guys. Very cool, man. Thank you. Appreciate it. Big D's a great sports city. Great passionate fans. They love their Cowboys. But come on, man. Enough is enough here. Let's win some games. You know what, too? It's starting to aggravate me because when I hear guys like Skip Bayless, look at how many 400-yard. Who gives a rat's ass? Let's win some ball games. I mean, we're talking about, you know what we talk about when it comes to Dallas? We talk about everything else but winning. The owner, Dak, his money, Zeke, the stadium, on TV. It's 24/7, but I mean it. There's way more teams in the league. Are they compelling? How are they compelling? But did you watch that Hard Knocks? It was so boring. It was boring. I like that, actually. But for a TV, I was like, the most interesting guy on the Cowboys is the owner. Hey, and know this. I like Dak. I'm not rooting against – I don't really root against a lot of folks unless you're a total tool. I don't root against you. You have to be an absolute unbelievable tool bag for me to go after you. But I love to be proven wrong. Like I'm going to talk about the next guy here. Totally proved me wrong. I mean, so Dallas, just win, man. If the Dallas Cowboys ever got to a Super Bowl, the ratings would be the highest ratings in the history of television, not just in the NFL. Just win. And personally, I don't think they have a team that can win the Super Bowl, but we'll see. You never know by the end of the year. Just play the games. How many times have we seen injuries play a factor in a season? We saw that a few years ago with the Eagles, right? Nick Foles won the damn Super Bowl after Carson Wentz went down. All right. Let me go over here to Lamar Jackson. He is the quarterback of the Baltimore Ravens. I so love this guy's will, his intestinal fortitude, how he plays the game on the edge. He's playing against Patrick Mahomes of Kansas City this week. So look at the Ravens. They start out the season on the road in Las Vegas against the Raiders. Raiders pull off a miraculous win. And now you got Kansas City on the other side of this. You want to hear a stat here? Not that I'm big in stats, but listen to this one. So Lamar Jackson is 0-3 versus Patrick Mahomes. You know what he is against the rest of the league? He's 30-5 as a starting quarterback in the NFL. This guy is 30-8 as a starting quarterback. And people are questioning him. You're 30-8. I mean, right? 30-8 is incredible. You've won 30 of 38 football games as a starting quarterback. I got to say it one more time to you. I have not seen the league with these amount of young players like Mahomes and Lamar Jackson and Justin Herbert. The league is filled with so many young, bright young players at the position. I can't remember it being, the old guard of Drew Brees and Peyton Manning and Tom Brady. It ain't there anymore. And these guys are great. These guys are really great. I love Lamar. I've seen it on Twitter how they talk about him sometimes because of the way he dresses with all the gold chains. What does that have to do with anything with the guy's character? People are they're so like when they read a book, they only see the cover. Like, you only see the poster. You don't really do your homework into finding out more about the movie. Read the book on the movie. Usually the book's actually better than the movie. If you've ever read some of the books that movies were made out of, you ever read For Whom the Bell Tolls? It's a better book than actually the movie. I would say by far. How about To Kill a Mockingbird? You ever read the book? The book is 10 times better, in my opinion. But it takes patience to read a book. Okay? You have to have patience. You have to know what it's about. That's kind of like when you're looking at a person. First glance doesn't usually tell you the full story, I should say, about a particular player and what his likes and weaknesses and strengths are. You got to get a personal relationship with him. I've heard nothing but spectacular things being said about Lamar. And here's a guy, get this. And here's a guy, okay? Here's a guy that people have always questioned. Lamar Jackson. Got a guy on my social media page, on my YouTube channel. Music Maker just says, Dan, do you have Tua on the list of young players? I do. You know what, too? Tua this week has got a big game. He's got Buffalo this week. And here's a guy that's being told he's not the guy. Here's a guy that's got a lumberyard on his shoulder, too. Now, you're not. Remember what they did with Lamar? A friend of mine who I revered, Tom Telesco, the general manager of the Chargers, wanted him to work out as a wide receiver for him. This guy was the MVP 2 years ago. You're going to make the MVP try out for wideout? Why would you do that? Because you didn't think he could be a quarterback? Do you know he refused to run at the combines because he didn't want anybody to think? And you know how fast he is. Watch him run. You see him on Monday night, the way he ran. There's very few running backs that run like him. He is a spectacular football player. Spectacular. And Tua, I'm still not sold on him. But I'll tell you what he's doing. He's won 9 to 12 ball games. Okay? Remember what I told you about the Dallas Cowboys a couple minutes ago? Well, he's winning. He's winning, unlike Dak. That's a well-coached football team. That Brian Flores in Miami can coach his ass off. You know why? He gets to know these guys. He's got a personal relationship with each and every single one of those guys in that locker room. And you can tell the way he coaches them. They are a fabulously coached football team, the Miami Dolphins. I'm impressed with what I'm seeing with Brian Flores. Brian Flores may end up being the best coach Bill Belichick has ever had off his coaching tree. He's completely turned the Dolphins around. Now, if Stephen Ross, the owner of the Dolphins, allows him to continue to do that and allows him and Chris Greer, the general manager, to continue to be that football program's in good hands. In good hands. Baltimore's in great hands. Got John Harbaugh. I've said this to you before. How about John Harbaugh? Turned out to be the better Harbaugh brother when it came to coaching. You know why? He's not the flashy guy. He's not the guy wearing the khakis. He's not the guy any of that. John's a great coach. Maybe the most underrated coach in all the NFL. Hey, do me a favor, friends. Go over to podcasterwarehouse.com. Headphones, earbuds, everything that you need is there for you. Gamers, got microphones for you too. We have all kinds of mixers for you. 25% off of everything that's on the website. Shipping is free. You can spend as much as $5 to $5,000. Podcasterwarehouse.com. Podcasterwarehouse.com. The fraudulent one, Urban Meyer. I got to hit on him. By the way, the voice of the 49ers, Ted Robinson, will join us in hour number 2. We'll get his thoughts, and we'll hear what he has to say about this football team that I think has got a great roster. We'll hit on it next. You keep it here on the Sileo Show. Thank you. Oh, Chris, you know me, man. My great day is Chris, let me tell you something that popped up today, too. So Elvis and Durant, the show up in the Bay Area, they were on KMEL, Elvis in Hollywood, I think it was called. It was highly rated. It was number 1 in the market forever. And I think, I can't remember, but so Elvis, who's been in radio for like 100 million years, calls me up today and he goes, listen, man, we have a cannabis company that has started a media company. And they're trying to put content on this thing. They want to talk to me tomorrow. You know that industry's got a lot of cash. So, now let me ask you this. Do you think that would frighten other advertisers off? Yeah. Wasn't this more of a Christian network, though, anyway? Yeah. You think he would change now because of the environment of radio? Wow. Dan Sileo, USA Radio Network. So Urban Meyer, head coach of the Jags, had to put to rest the rumors going around that he would take the USC job. I mean, really? Wouldn't you have blown up that reporter immediately? You just got there. It's game one of your NFL career. And by the way, Urban Meyer can never coach in college football ever again. We all know why. 36 arrests in 5 years in Gainesville. Zach Smith beating his wife, your wide receiver coach in Columbus. How do you walk into a parent's home and go, hey, I'm going to take care of your kid like he's my own? Really? What about the environments you've had at your places the last 2 stops in college? You can't walk into a family like that and go, hey, we believe in treating women and with great respect. Really? You had a wide receiver coach on your staff for 4 years that was beating his wife. And what happened there? Or what happened to all those arrests you had in Gainesville? You can't justify that. I don't know how you could justify that. But then again, look, I mean, Rick Pitino got a job again. He's coaching Iona basketball now. I mean, this guy hired prostitutes to recruit basketball players and took money from Nike and Louisville. Documented. I'm not saying anything that's not true. Read it on the internet. Why do you think he's no longer coaching the Louisville Cardinals? What, because he resigned? I mean, right? So maybe he does get an opportunity. I don't know. But why would you have to put that down, that rumor that you would take the SC job? Isn't that weird? I would just look at that reporter and go, look, man, I just got here. I'm not walking backwards. This is my last job. When you say this stuff, if that were me, I'd be like, this is my last job. I'm not going anywhere. I'm going to win a Super Bowl or I'm not, or I'm going to get fired. Why not just put it out there like that? I'm either going to win a Super Bowl or you're going to fire me. That's how I'm looking at this job. That's called being all in. Right? Why can't people have that conviction any longer? Not going anywhere, man. You're getting paid a king's ransom. By the way, in week 1 against the Texans, your team looked like crap. Better do a better job of coaching and stop answering questions about Southern Cal. Southern Cal? My God. Those are guys that like... Now, look, I got to be fair to Urban on this one here. I'll tell you what, he's probably asked the question. And he's probably just, he's just answering it. So, right? So you got to be kind of... You're sitting there. You're not offering it up. Hey, I'm not taking the USC job or anything. Muhammad says, yeah, the Texans are a dumpster fire. They are a dumpster fire. Completely a dumpster fire. And they win. Good for David Culley. Good for him. I'm glad to see him get his first victory. He did it against Trevor Lawrence and the Jaguars, who were supposed to go in there and beat them up because of the chaos that's been going on in Houston because of this whole Deshaun Watson thing. By the way, we got some news on that, by the way, too, so we'll hit on that. But, man, I mean, Meyer, to me, it's like he's had everything placed in his lap. I'd say the only job that he really had to work at was Bowling Green. Utah's got great facilities. When he got to the Florida Gators, Ron Zook had put so many great players. By the way, when did he win the national championship? His first or second year? Well, those players weren't his. They were Ron Zook's. People think Tebow won that national title, his first one there. It was Chris Leak. Oh, you guys go, who's Chris Leak? Right. Chris Leak. By the way, don't forget, we have Ted Robinson, voice of the 49ers. That'll be coming up here in a little bit. I also do want to hit on James Franklin a little bit more, potentially getting that Southern Cal job. And Odell Beckham Jr. Dude, what are the Browns going to do with that guy? What are they going to do with him? All right, we'll reset. You keep it right here on the Dan Sileo Show. Wow. Yes, I'm here. No. Jesus Christ is appropriate. Thank you. It's really cooler tonight. Why is it hot there? Oh, we got it going on here. New York. Not me. Because the radio it's soft here. You can't really be aggressive. It's weak. Oh, maybe that's right because it's changed there too. Yes, completely. No doubt. No. Chris, it takes you 30 minutes to get dressed in the winter, right? It takes you 20 minutes to take the ice off the windshield. Takes you another 5 minutes to walk through the snow. I mean, it's a pain in the ass the winter. It drags people down. That's right, your driveway. Tampa's got really bigger over the last 5 years. Not a filled house at Washington Stadium, FedEx Field. It's 14-10. No, is it? Yep. No comment. I got you. Dan Sileo, USA Radio Network. Welcome aboard with us. We appreciate everybody stepping in. Thank you. Football night, Thursday night football. Heck of a game going on between the Giants and Washington. This just in. Not a packed house at FedEx Field again. Jesus, gravity. Daniel Snyder, the owner of Washington's team thing, whatever you want to call it. It's been a disaster. An absolute disaster. And do you know what he wants now? He wants a new ballpark. People told him, if you move that team to Landover, that it was going to be a train wreck. Instead of being in downtown D.C. like RFK is, you move the team to the suburbs. Same stuff that's going on with the 49ers right now. 49ers are in Santa Clara. Think of that for a minute. You're in Santa Clara. That's not San Francisco. That's south of Oakland. It's south of Oakland. It's not the 49ers. The 49ers, when they were there at Candlestick Park, by the way, I think it's a housing community now, and rightfully so. It was one of the prettiest pieces of land that you ever saw. You know the two greatest pieces of land I ever saw in San Francisco when I lived there? Was Candlestick and Alcatraz. I'm not kidding. You go to Alcatraz Island and you look back to the city and the Embarcadero, it's totally a beautiful piece of land. Then they got Angel Island right around there. It's really pretty cool. Same thing with Candlestick. You're right there on the point. freeze your baguettes off during the summertime, though. You know what the old saying was? You know, the coldest summer I ever spent was a summer in San Francisco. I'm not kidding. You get down there in the 60s, and you're like, this is summer in San Fran? It's pretty cool. I really love living there. It is by far one of my favorite cities I've ever lived in. Dallas being the other one, too. I love living there. I love living in Tampa and Miami. I love pretty much living all over across the country where I've lived. But San Francisco was special. My daughter loves it, too. But you got Washington and Daniel Snyder wanting now to, you know, he wants a new ballpark. Why would you ever give that guy a new stadium with tax money? In an area that's already hit with taxes, and it's got poverty in that area, you want to try to tax people in D.C. to build a stadium for Daniel Snyder? You'll never get that passed. You will never. It's another one of those areas that have been run into the ground by city officials. The mayor is a joke in D.C. They'd rather paint signs about Trump or whatever. My God almighty, these people are so dumb in Washington. Who cares about Donald Trump? Who cares? The investigation with Durham came out too. I don't really care anymore. I don't care. Well, he did this. She did that. It was really Hillary. Shut up. Thank God for football and everybody being able to tune that out and tune us in. So thankful. Don't have to listen to that BS. Snyder, okay, he runs with that crowd. This guy's never won anything. He's been the worst owner in Washington. Would we not agree Daniel Snyder's been the worst owner in Washington Redskins and football team history? I mean, almost every owner over the last 30 years at least won a championship. Daniel Snyder's not even gotten close. It's a train wreck. I would say James Dolan of the New York Knicks, he gets a pass because the Rangers have been fairly decent. They've gotten to a couple Stanley Cups. Okay, not won him, but he's gotten to a couple Stanley Cups. I think if I'm not mistaken, maybe Chris O, you know, if I'm not mistaken, I think MSG or the Rickett family may have owned the Rangers when they won the cup with Messier. I forget who the owner of that team was when they won the Stanley Cup. But I know it was James Dolan. He did not own a team. I may be wrong, but I do not think James Dolan won the Stanley Cup when Messier and all them dudes won that cup against Vancouver. I don't believe that. But Daniel Snyder's been brutal, man. He's had all these, now he's been suspended by the league for inappropriate behavior. What is it? His wife is now caretaker of the team right now. Why he's serving this so-called suspension that nobody's really been publicized. And he wants a new stadium. Man, no wonder those tickets are so cheap to go to. The place is empty. You know, he might have the only empty house this NFL weekend. I know it's Thursday. Dude, you see Tampa Bay last Thursday? You couldn't buy a ticket. Bucks and Cowboys, I get it, but this is Giants and Washington. Hey, for the record, let me ask you something here on this one thing. One last thing on something that somebody asked me today, and somebody posted on my Twitter page at Dan Sileo Show this. Does it really bother you that Washington has conformed to the cancel culture and dropped the Redskins name? Does that bug you or not? Or are you like me? I don't care. Does it bug you that, again, you're probably one of the mask guys who want to make an issue out of wearing masks and not wearing masks? I don't really care either on that one. This is not a battle I want to fight. I wear a mask because, you know why? I don't want you talking to me. And I want either side talking to me. Actually, I wear a mask because to me, it keeps you all away from me that have that ideology that you use the mask for a political statement. It keeps me away from you. That's how I look at my mask. And I wear it when I go out because I don't want any crap from anybody. On both sides. I don't want to hear it. Not interested. But that's also part of our culture today. So I had a guy go like this. We're so weak as a nation that we have to worry about nicknames on sports teams. Did you see the tomahawk chop the other day in Kansas City when they were playing the Browns? I saw the tomahawk chop. Is that racist? Probably some. But you know what? You know what's crazy? You guys made me think about it. The politicians and people in Washington and the cancel culture made me think about it. Whereas before, 5 years ago, I would just think everybody's having a fun time at Arrowhead. Right? I would just think you're having a fun time at Arrowhead. But now you got me going, gee, you think the tomahawk chops? I don't. I think it's a hell of a chant. And by the way, well, tomahawk chop, that's what they used to, to kill white guys. Okay, right. So when the Bucks fired the cannons, is that racist too? Fired cannons at the I don't know. I've lost track and I don't have my decoder book out. So again, I'm just curious. Do people really look at that and go like this? Yeah, man, I'm really glad that they dropped the Redskins name. I suppose. I guess if it's in the best interest of people. And I guess if that makes you feel good, like tipping a statue over, I guess. It's like the Robert E. Lee statues. I brought this up before. The Robert E. Lee statues. We really care about that? Really? They put those statues up for Reconstruction back in the day. Most of those Confederate statues that we have around our country was put in place by Lincoln for a reason. Now, times have changed. I get it. You can evaluate and reassemble your thoughts, and as we go forward, maybe you do readjust your thinking on that. And that's a fair conversation. But just to do it, you know what I mean? Why do you think they have all those statues and pictures in Washington, D.C. of Confederate and Southern officials? Lincoln wanted everybody to feel good in Reconstruction as he was bringing the nation together. He didn't want the South to lose their identity. And he took heat from his own party for doing that. I guess the same way we see heat on certain political parties today when you do something for one side or the other. It was a call to compromise. Can't do that nowadays. Hard to compromise, isn't it? People don't want to have that dialogue. See, again, the beautiful thing about, I heard somebody do something for the first time in sports broadcasting history. His name is Colin Cowherd. I heard him do this. He gave credit to the Buffalo Bills for being a better team, even though the Steelers won the game. That's moving the goalpost. That's like contesting an election. That's what we have today. Well, they're a better team. And he ranked them higher in this power ranking. And I'm like, wait a minute. Steelers went actually into your building and beat you. And you still give the other team, well, they're better though. That's moving the goalpost. That's the first time I've ever heard anybody do that. You see, in my sports world, the reason they keep score is because you can't change the score once it's in cement and once the time is run out on the clock. In politics, well, the 2016 election was rigged. Okay, yeah, we find out it was rigged. Okay, we found out it actually was. Durham's report came out. It was rigged by Hillary. Hey, by the way, this is probably the only place you heard that, what I just said. Hillary rigged it. Her attorney lied to the FBI, came out today in the Durham report. So that whole Russian collusion was conspired by the DNC and Hillary Clinton. It was never true. And you know what you give Mayor Garland? You know what you give him credit for? Allowing that to continue. Joe Biden could have shut that down. He didn't. Good for him. Joe Biden got kudos today from me for that. I know people that are Republicans are not, they're kind of going like this. Aren't you kind of shocked that Joe Biden's Attorney General allowed it? No, I'm not surprised. I'm thrilled to death. And remember, that Attorney General, he could have an ass with everybody in D.C. on what happened and how they kept him off the bench at the Supreme Court. Remember that? That guy kept that thing going. But what's crazy is, you know why you're not going to see the other networks covering that story? Because the other network is that we're in cahoots with the phony story. And they perpetrated it for 4 years that it was true. Came out, it was Hillary. But then again, Whitewater, the travel office. Really? The law firm that she worked for? Were you shocked? Odell Beckham Jr., want to hit on him. What are the Browns going to do with that dude? Ted Robinson, voice of the Niners, will be with us at the bottom of the hour. Keep it here on the Sileo Show. Nothing. I read the report. Yeah. Another dopey comment by people that say that. Oh. Man. Right. Guy. There you go. There's nobody on the planet that would do that. Chris, it's not fundamentally or rationally possible. Reinstate Trump. Good night. Yeah, you know when you can do that? In 2024, if you so see it. He won't run. What do you think? Really? You think he runs? See, I think he wants to be more in charge of the party instead of running for it. Oh, I think the Republicans are going to take the House and the Senate. Oh, okay. Oh, no. I don't think it's a lock either. No. Correct. Yeah, but you know what I would do if I were the Republicans? I would shut up and not, as soon as you see something, take victory laps. It's unbecoming. Yeah, Marjorie Taylor Greene is as wacky as AOC. You know, Colorado's another one of those states, Chris, that, you know, traditionally has always gone red, you know, but now it's going blue. Okay. Got you, brother. Okay. Dan Sileo, USA Radio Network. I guess some of the reasons that I talk politics sometimes on my show is because it's like a sport itself. It is like talking sports. What team's doing well, what team. The unfortunate thing is that if my Buccaneers lose, it really doesn't affect me. Right? If one of these parties wins or loses, it kind of does affect us. You know what I mean? That's real life stuff. It's not really a game, even though some people in Washington think it is a game. It's not really a game. You know, they play with our lives like it's a game. It's kind of like, you know, at least when I'm talking about my Bucks or the Yankees or whatever, you know, it's all about, hey, you see the Yankees, man, they're still, you know, they're hanging in there, but I can't believe the Rays, man. They're so good. What a great organization. I marvel at the way people run their organizations. I just love how they get. Don't you love this? And Chris is in my ear all the time because he's a huge Yankee fan too. But it's true. Don't you love seeing like this little team in Tampa with no money, you know, beat Goliath? And they do it year in and year out. It's not a one-off thing. It's crazy great. Oh, God, I admire great organizations who get the most out of their employees and those are the kind of people that Warren Buffett loves to invest in. Like, here, let me throw this at you here. I teased this going in. By the way, we will have Ted Robinson, the voice of the San Francisco 49ers. He'll be coming up with us, and we'll talk a little Niners football. They got a big dilemma going on there with Jimmy Garoppolo and with Trey Lance. I think it's kind of, but you be the determination of it, whether or not there is a conflict. I don't think there is. I think it's Jimmy G's team. So Odell Beckham Jr. for the second straight week is not activated. You know, we were told, oh my God, he looks so great, top speed. He's back to being normal again. It's unbelievable. He's not active again. Guy's the most overrated player in the league. He's all hype. Guy makes $15 million a year. Nobody would want him on his team at that price. You put him on the open market, you're not getting a first rounder for him. Odell Beckham Jr., it's more like a fifth round draft choice now. I wouldn't give up maybe a 4. But I'm not paying for that guy. He was a very good wide receiver when he was in New York. But since he's been in Cleveland, he's been a locker room cancer. He couldn't fit in. They tried to put him in the offense. And get this, here's the ultimate thing. Okay? Here's the ultimate thing. Is that when he got hurt, the Browns were better. They went on that run. And you were like, holy cow, Baker Mayfield even looks better. That's incredible. Why would you want the guy back on your team? Hate people who are distractions like that. This is what you tell guys. See, and again, this is a guy who believes that he's bigger than the team. I don't want guys like that on my team. I don't care how talented you are. You'll either fit in or you'll fit out. Beckham's a really great. You keep him. He's unreliable as a man. You don't know what he's going to say or do. You know, he's the guy that bitches and moans if he doesn't have 115 yards in receiving yards and 7 catches. He don't give a rat's ass if you win or lose. Guy doesn't care. Why would I want that attitude on my ball team? Why would I want that attitude in my business? I wouldn't. There's guys like that. God, man, guys like Larry Fitzgerald, receiver for the Cardinals, guy played forever, Hall of Famer, first ballot. There's no questions asked about it. I just love people like that. I do, man. I just absolutely love guys like that. All right. This 49er team is a Super Bowl roster. They got a decision to make, though, at quarterback. They got two dudes in the building in only one position. We'll hit on it next with Ted Robinson. You keep it here on the Dan Sileo Show. Okay, I got it. What time do I get to it? Why don't you just, give me like a, okay, good. Thank you, Chris. Pal. You took that for granted. Dude, it's weird. Why won't the guy say anything? Clear himself. And she's still walking around the park. Bark and berries. Yes, I know, Chris. I get it. Yeah. Had to get little raccoons, kill them, and use them as little footies. I get it, Chris. She could go to work for the My Pillow guy. Thank you, Mike. Didn't he say something 2 weeks ago where I thought I heard something where he's barred some. Oh, that's what it was. Yeah, because the last Trump rally I saw had a ton of folks. This kid Daniel Jones has actually played pretty good tonight. Yeah, that was it. Think he's back on the yeah? Daniel Jones Twitter. Gotcha. Yeah, whatever, guy. Dan Sileo, USA Radio Network. Ted Robinson will join us in a couple minutes. We'll get his thoughts on the 49ers. I think the 49ers have a hell of a schedule. And by the way, Ted was working the Olympic Games. We'll get his comments on working the Olympics. That had to be a very difficult Olympic Games to broadcast. You know why? The people in Japan didn't want the Olympics to continue because of the COVID outbreak. There was nobody in the stands. All those fabulous arenas and facilities that they built, nobody got a chance to experience it. You know, those things are supposed to be like Chamber of Commerce, Olympic Games. Are they not like economic like anchors around these communities' necks after they leave? Like, what are you going to do with those facilities? Think of it for a minute, right? What are you going to do with those facilities? Cold world events? Do you know if you go back, one of the only places I ever saw the Olympic experience, there's two places actually that refit. Montreal refit when they had the games there in 76. And you're not going to believe this. Take a look at the pictures of Munich. All those facilities, and I know the tragedy and all that, all those facilities, they've turned them into housing. And people actually now live in these facilities, and it's like a park. It's pretty cool. Some of these other places have just been absolute train wrecks. All right. Hey, I've said this before to you, and I'll say it again. I think that this 49er team has an opportunity at getting to an NFC championship game. Okay? I think that they've built a great roster up. John Lynch, the general manager of the team, who's a dear friend of mine, has done a great job at drafting. They have done a great job at developing. But the most important thing is what to do at the quarterback position. Jimmy Garoppolo is a good player. They played well against the Lions this past weekend. Okay? They really did. They played well against the Lions. Now they got the Eagles coming up, and they got to go across the country, and they've got to take on this Philadelphia team at Lincoln Financial. So let's do this now. Let's get to our friend Ted Robinson. Ted, as I said, he calls the Olympics. I love that whole factor with him. We've got to hit on that first here. My friend Ted Robinson. Gotcha, brother.
First there was Matt Stafford. Then there was the Deshaun Watson. Then they trade up right in front of his face, keeping him well informed of what was going on, that they were going to go into the Super Bowl and trade Lance. How do you think that's affected the team and Jimmy Garoppolo? 100%. You're spot on, Dan. I mean, it's to me, from everything I hear, it's all I do is hear. What you hear is the 3-1 Rodgers, and it's 180 for the 49ers. The 49ers called Garoppolo, told him what they were going to do, told him he was going to come to camp, and in essence, God, Lance was a weird team. And even before they picked Lance, whoever they chose, they told Garoppolo it was going to be the next year's school. They're not replacing things for everything on Friday. From what we hear from Aaron Rodgers, that's zero from what the Packers did a year and a half ago when they drafted Joel Rodgers comes out this days ago this interview on Fox and says, yeah, we like he's a veteran of future year beyond 2021. They drafted my replacement, so why not let's get it over now? That's the number. And I always saw, you know, in everything I've heard, their body language collectively was terrible. It's like, that's week one, that's cool. That is a massive challenge to Florida to fix starting Monday. But Monday night was the one, otherwise you don't get well. You start week with 14 for playoffs, you start 2-3. That's what's tough for Florida. That's so. Is it close? Ted, you're a week with Trey and Jimmy. Do you think it's close, or do you think there's much work to be needed? Because I went back and I told you this last time you were on. I had a YouTube screen because I don't remember ever seeing him play. In the last 19 months, the most significant football he's gotten has been in the exhibition season. I mean, how close can he actually be? Or am I wrong when I say that he is close in his competition? Well, yeah, I would say right now, Dan, starting out this year, say, and again, knowing Kyle recently, this is probably a pretty good situation. If you're getting Lance, things are great things slowly. Not throwing them out there. It's not that Dalton is a placeholder for Justin Fields in Chicago. That's not the deal at all. Joe Burrow, they have thrown right out there last year in Cincinnati. They're going to ease Lance in because of what we're talking about. He is a player. He's a man. And now the condition he is dropped twice in his 49 players gone down in season 18. He needs to stay on the field. If he stays on the field, I believe, and win, to win more than lose. This to me is the pattern. I think it's very clear that Lance knows that why he's there. What is the obvious mobility? The second one's the defense. That's you have to have it in the league. Kyle loves it. It's not Garoppolo's strength. It's not Garoppolo's weakness. It's just not a standout strength. It is weakness. And you saw that in the preseason. Shanahan was eventually, what was it? What is Russell Wilson done? I see here. It's a decade to kill the 49ers. The deep. This is a great deep ball. I think that's what Brian and Kyle want. What drove McVay to get Stafford. Same thing. Jared Goff not a great deep ball. Stafford is. That's right. I think that's a lot of pressure. A couple last questions here. So this weekend, you guys are going to be taking on the 49ers, or 49ers are taking on the Eagles. And the Eagles get out to a great start against the Falcons. The Falcons really did not put up much of a fight. It's goal lines. I said this then. I said I go in between the 49ers and the Eagles. This may be the best matchup of big dudes I've ever seen this week. Because, I mean, you got Nick Bosa, you've got Trent Williams, you've got Fletcher Cox, you've got Lane Johnson, you've got this kid Marcolado, who I think is going to be a sensational player. That matchup against Bosa is going to be great. I mean, of all the games maybe played this year, this is going to be the battle of the Hogs, and the Stars are going to be in line. We're going to learn a lot
Yeah. Well, what do you want? Okay. The next time you ask for me, make it worthy, because I don't usually give my attention to very, very many people. Look, again, wrong word. Well, listen to these words. Again, address me as Mr. Sileo or Dan. Well, Chris, everybody has their time of the month. It's all good. Really? You think so? Well, maybe it's the people I hang with. Yes, there is. What's your name, Bob? Wow. Don't call me buddy, because I'm not your buddy. Hey, folks, I'm kidding. I love the guy. Relax. Yeah. I mean, he set me up. He set me up. Dan Sileo, USA Radio Network. Thank you very much, Ted Robinson, for stepping in with us. I like the way that 49er organization's run. You got John Lynch in the building, the general manager. He's really a great dude. Known John a long time. Long time. You know, father ran a radio company in San Diego. You know, he was raised around that environment. You know, business family. Went to Torrey Pines High School. Then he ended up going to Stanford. You know, if I'm not mistaken, I believe he was drafted by the Marlins. And one of the very first Marlins draft choices. You know, John Lynch actually played baseball first in the Marlins organization before he went and played football at Stanford. He played baseball too. We had all these great conversations. John loved baseball. Big time athlete. And I was so happy to see him get into the Pro Football Hall of Fame. I actually like the family, and I love John Lynch. I really do. And I think he's been given a contract extension too, to run the organization. And I've been just a gigantic fan of his. And I'm so happy to see that he's really having the success that he's having there in San Francisco. Now they just have to have a quarterback that can help them, get to where they need. And they've gotten to the Super Bowl, but now they need to cross the finish line, obviously, especially if you're in San Francisco. Anyway, let me throw this out here at you here. One thing, we brought this up the other day. And this was about, and we're starting to see some problems in the NFL a little bit here with this. And I'm wondering how the league is really going to handle it. The vaccination conversation, I hate to do this to people, but it's infiltrated our sports world. Okay? It has. I have a problem with the way Washington, D.C. is talking. And then when I tune on and turn on the television set and I'm watching, say, this Thursday night game, I'm seeing nobody with masks in the stadium. I didn't see anybody last Thursday at Raymond James. I didn't see anybody at any of the college games. But yet I'm hearing these people. And by the way, here's something else. So I saw CNN printed something. They're now trying to come up with this notion that if you're like not vaccinated, okay, you're infecting other people that have had the shot and you're killing them. Well, then you're admitting the vaccinations don't work. If that's the case. Am I right? How are these stadiums handling, like in Buffalo and in Vegas? How are you like isolating half of your fan base? You're alienating your fan base by doing this. I think this is going to be a problem by the end of the year for the NFL. Half your fans, you're telling not to come to the games? Is that what you're doing? You're turning yourself into a political party because of the way the government is handling these mandates. You know, I read on the CDC website that if you've had COVID-19, your antibodies are better than the vaccinations. I actually read that. Well, what if you're immune to the COVID-19? You know, you can be. You can be immune to it. You know, here's the story. My wife was immune. I got meningitis years ago in Dallas when I was with the Cowboys. And meningitis kills 75% of the people. This is a true story. I almost died. Google it. I almost died because of meningitis. My wife was immune to it. She came in and she used to bring me, get this, Taco Bell. She brought me Taco Bell into like Dallas Memorial. I'm not kidding. What are you doing with Taco Bell? Well, your wife doesn't have it. It's really weird. She's immune to it. I think the league, man. I mean, you're targeting your fans. Why? Just doesn't make sense. By the way, a hell of a game going on tonight on Monday night. Really love it. Really love it. Daniel Jones is playing some pretty damn good football. Really damn good football. All right. The teams that should panic after week one. We'll hit on that, reset. You keep it right here on the Dan Sileo Show.